Hello, I'm the Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at beautyprofessor.net. I am what some may call a foundation file. I am absolutely mad about foundation, and I have been for quite a few years now. In fact, that was one of the reasons I started Beauty Professor to begin with, because I'd amassed so many different base formulas, and I felt like I wanted to share that experience with others who like foundation as much as I do. So today I'm excited to share with you an overview of 13 glowy foundations. One of my favorite things about foundation is that there are always new releases. So some of the foundations I'll be discussing today are brand new or new within the last few months, while others have been longtime favorites for me in the glowy or radiant category. Before we explore these 13 formulas, I'll just mention a little bit about the makeup I'm currently wearing. I am wearing the By Terry Light Expert Click Brush in shade 5. Now this is a part of my lineup of foundations for this video, so I'll try to be succinct in my description. I'll say that Peach Beige is a great shade for NC 25 or so skin, and I just grab for it all the time during a busy work week because it's really easy to apply and it stays in place all day. For a bit of warmth and a touch of highlight, I'm wearing the Tom Ford Illuminating Duo in Mood Light, which I picked up over the summer. I like to use the dark shade as a bronzer in the winter when my skin is a little lighter, and I just sweep it along the hollows of my cheeks and across the perimeters of my face. It imparts just enough color to look natural and warm, but not overdone. And then I use the white pearl shade just in the high points of my face for a little more illumination. On the eyes, I am wearing one of the new Tom Ford eye quads for the spring, and this is in Disco Dust. You can see I've already made quite a little dent in some of the shades, worn it quite a bit this week, and I recently featured it on my blog, so I will link to that full review with swatches below. But if you love warm neutrals, then this is definitely a quad to consider procuring. I like to wear this peachy copper shade all over my lid, a bit of the warm kind of cream champagne up to the brow bone, this super sparkly, almost like wet effect, it's glistening accent shade, and then I use this dark shade just in the crease for a little definition. For lips, I'm simply wearing one color, and that is the Rodial Glam Stick in the shade Bite, which is a creamy peachy pink. I know these lip colors are kind of marketed like a hydrating, moisturizing, tinted balm, but I've been really impressed by the significant color payoff of this formula. So it does feel like a moisturizing balm, but it also gives the appearance, I think, of a nice opaque lipstick with a bit of shine. Finally, for lashes today, I have a couple coats of the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara, which is a newer release from the Marc Jacobs beauty line. The formula definitely adds instant jet black volume and length, and it doesn't flake off or irritate my eyes, which are super sensitive because I do wear contacts. And on to the foundations. So the first foundation I'll be discussing is kind of a foundation hybrid. It's the La Metier des Beautés Peau Vierge, and I wear it in shade 2. Now I wear this every day and I usually wear foundation over it, but my mom, who also loves this product and cannot live without it, uses it just as her foundation. It's amazing. This formula has sheer opacity, incredible ingredients with skincare benefits. There is a bit of retinol, but it doesn't irritate the skin or cause any kind of peeling. It just keeps your skin refreshed and renewed. It has some moisture, so it works as a great instant hydrator. It is illuminating because there is a bit of a sheen, and it also has a subtle tint. So shade 2 works really well. NC NW20 all the way to maybe 30 skin, and then there is a shade 3 for skin tones that are darker and a shade 1 for lighter. But I have gone through so many tubes of this in the last 4 years. It is my go-to product as an instant base to perfect the skin, and I truly don't know what I would do without it. Additionally, all my readers who try this come back to tell me that they're so glad they did. Yes, it is an investment product, but I mean, we're investing in our skin here, and it works well alone and also in conjunction with any other base you might want to add on top for additional coverage. Next is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Soft Luminous Foundation, and I wear this in shade Golden, which is a light medium for warm beige skin tones, and this is a new release from the Laura Mercier line. I find that this particular foundation gives me light to light medium coverage. So if you're looking for more coverage, you might want to look into a different formula, but if you're happy with a sheer formula, and many of my readers are always on the hunt for a formula that's sheer but imparts just enough coverage to definitely improve the skin, then this is the way to go. It's supposed to mimic the way that candle light looks on the skin, not harsh, not super shadowy, just soft and flattering like a filter. And I do think it does a great job of that. The lasting power is decent, so when I wear this, I don't set it with powder. I don't want to alter the soft glow, but maybe halfway through the day I'll touch up with a little bit of powder and it wears beautifully for the rest of the day. It's unscented, works well with sensitive skin, and like I said, is a gorgeous radiant option for those seeking sheer coverage. Number 3 is the Kogendo Aqua Foundation. And I wear this in shade 123, which is great for light medium skin. And I find that 123 works really well for me in the winter and spring months, but then as I get a little darker, I made to combine it with a different shade. I've been using this formula since before they changed their numbering system on it. So back when it was the OC1, OC2, and that's how much I love it. It is a sheer buildable all the way to medium foundation that's ultra gentle, no fragrance, and it's a radiant finish that doesn't look in the slightest bit shimmery. It's just like dewy, really good skin. It's been a cult favorite for years, and once I tried it for the first time, I instantly knew why. If you are looking for just a way to minimize and soften pores and fine lines, but still have this natural light emanating from the face, you may want to take a look at the Aqua Foundation. Next up is the Gucci Face Lustrous Glow Foundation. So the name itself kind of tells us that there is an intent of radiance going on in the formula. I have been wearing this in shade 60, and this formula is lovely, albeit not often discussed. I feel like it should be getting more press. It's so beautiful, but I think the fact that there's not that many Gucci outlets, retail outlets, makes it harder for people to just readily try it. And we all know matching ourselves to foundation without seeing swatches is unpleasant at best. So you can see it just has this kind of soft, medium coverage effect. Once again, the shimmer is not obvious, and I appreciate that in a formula that purports some radiance. I don't want to see shimmer specks in my face. If I want to do that, I'm certain there's a host of products I can add on top, but I don't want that in my initial base. And so I think this does a great job of being soft and luminous while still providing coverage. I would deem this coverage light, medium to medium in an initial kind of one pass over the face. And once again, unscented, which is great, and just a beautiful foundation release from Gucci. The Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. I ordered this without seeing a lot of swatches, certainly without swatching it myself. Matched myself to the third shade in from the lightest, which is beige, and I did a good job of matching because I definitely wouldn't have been the next step up. I think that would have been too dark. This has some pigmentation, so I think that I can wear this probably into the early summer shade-wise without any issues because it almost is a touch too dark for my skin right now. It's got an interesting glass dropper where you can kind of decant the product with the pressing of a button. The formula is intended to be this water-light feel. I find that if I just put some foundation directly from the wand, or I might put the wand on my hand and then go from there, I don't need that much to get medium coverage. I do feel like it's a medium coverage foundation. I haven't tried building it to full coverage. I don't know if it would do that well, but one coat of medium is just excellent. So I find that I get probably 5 to 6 hours of lasting power without the need to touch up. And the finish, once again, I think we've just come so far with foundations because it's a radiant without being glittery. I think that's going to be the theme of this video. It does a really nice job of providing a sheen on the face, but you don't look oily and you certainly don't look shimmery. So I think it's a lovely Becca release. If you can find a match in this for your skin, then I suggest giving it a try. It's truly my most favorite Becca formula, and I've tried probably 3 or 4 over the years. thus far, it's my most favorite. Next is a foundation I picked up when I was at IMATS LA. This is the Elsie Micro Sleek Foundation, and this foundation is not something you can buy everywhere. So when I saw it in their booth, I was excited to give it a try. It comes in a decent range of shades, and I've had readers ask me if I've tried this before because they know I've tried so many foundations and I hadn't yet. So when I saw it, I thought I've got to give this a spin. I was matched to the shade Sand, and Sand is a good NC 25 to 27 shade, I would say. It is going to take me through late spring and early summer as well. It's medium coverage, and I think it has a satin matte finish, so it's maybe the least officially radiant of the formulas I'm discussing in this video, but that doesn't mean it's not luminous. It does make the skin look really pretty, kind of candlelit, and the coverage is very natural. You have the ability to perfect the canvas without that makeup looking obvious, which I think is hard to do with a satin matte finish because you usually see it on the skin. It's also vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's unscented, and I haven't had any adverse reactions to wearing it. My skin is, as aforementioned, is really sensitive. So I'm very impressed with Elsie so far. I would love to be able to share swatches of all of the shades, but I was told by its creator, Lilith, that the foundation does not have undertones that are rosy, only neutral to yellow, which she believes, and she's a very accomplished makeup artist, she believes is the best, most universal undertone for most people. So it doesn't oxidize and it doesn't turn orangey. It's just a nice soft neutral golden shade, and I'm really happy I was able to officially discover it at IMATS. On to foundation number 7. This is the Chantecaille Future Skin, and I'm holding it in the shade Cream, but sometimes when my skin's a little darker, I mix cream with sand for maybe an NC 30 mixture. And this formula is probably, just on a physical level, very different from the other formulas I've discussed. It's a gel cream, it comes in a jar, and it's dense, but it spreads on the skin so nicely. You think, oh my gosh, I have to buff this out for hours, but you really don't. It's just, it can go on sheerly, you can build up for more coverage, but unlike some of the foundations I'm discussing today, this is one where you can layer, kind of layer after layer in areas where you desire additional coverage, and it still looks completely natural. It's water-based, and the skin just feels like it can breathe all day. My skin always feels really healthy when I wear this. But what I do find is that it does offer a subtle radiance. The skin kind of just takes on a radiance over the course of wear, and it lasts quite a long time, especially if we're feeling so light and gel-like, which could maybe imply slippage, but it doesn't slip off the skin. This is not a new formula, but it is a highly lauded one, and I would encourage you to try a sample if you can. Next is the Moustav Melting Cream Foundation in Beige, which I do mix with the darker brown shade as well when I need to get a perfect match. This is a solid cream foundation, but I find that I get a really nice luminous finish once I've applied it with a damp beauty blender. It gives you medium to full coverage. Moustav is a beautiful Korean beauty line, and I've been a huge fan of their Skinny Tint as well, which is a liquid foundation, as well as their lip color and eyeshadows. But this foundation was newer to me. I love how compact it is. So I'll do another close-up on this foundation soon enough, but it did make my list of top radiant foundation. On to the foundation that I mentioned at the start of this video, and that's the By Terry Light Expert Click Brush Foundation. I wear it in shade 5, Peach Beige. This comes in a self-contained tube. You've got a flat kabuki brush. You press right here, and up comes some more foundation. And then I like to just apply it like this all over the face and then blend it with the dampened beauty blender. This is what's interesting about this foundation. For those who want light coverage, they'll find that it gives them light coverage. For those seeking medium coverage, they'll be surprised that you only need a little bit for medium. And I can build this almost all the way to full coverage if I go over little areas of my face where I want more coverage, and it still looks practically invisible on the skin. I can't explain why it's that versatile, it just is. And I get a great velvet luminous finish with it that looks like really healthy, natural, dewy skin. It's just a chic release from the Ever Chic by Terry brand. And I have swatches of every shade on my blog, which I'll link to below. Next is the Giorgio Armani Maestro Glow Foundation. I have a good match in shade 5.5. I've, of course, reviewed this on my blog and I'll link to it. But I will say that I am over the moon for this new Maestro release. I covered the original Maestro formula years ago when it came out, and while it felt revolutionary, I feel like this is just a useful improvement for my skin type, because I do prefer a little bit more radiant finish, and I think that the Maestro can be a little bit too matte for me sometimes. Also, this has a nice SPF 30, and what's so fascinating about this foundation is once you let it settle for maybe an hour, the oils in the foundation separate from the pigment powders, and so you see two distinct layers. Of course, to apply, you just give it a good shake, and then you can use the dropper to decant however much you want. But this foundation gives me instant medium coverage, and I can only really get sheer to light medium coverage with the original Maestro. This offers a beautiful veil of coverage on the skin that looks like nothing. It still feels as light as original Maestro, but with more coverage, and maybe that's just due to the radiance particles, I'm not sure. But in either case, you can't see them on the skin. It just looks like dewy skin once again, and scent-wise, it reminds me so much of the hydrating Giorgio Armani foundation from like a decade ago. It was my go-to years ago. It was discontinued, and when I smelled this one, I was like, oh my gosh, that brings back so many memories. And this scent doesn't bother me, and I'm sensitive to scent. It actually just makes me happy because I think of the other foundation, and in some ways I think it almost performs like it in terms of coverage and just looking like well moisturized skin. Give this a try. This is the Rouge by Rouge Skin Soul Drops. It's a foundation essence. It's, yes, a super diminutive bottle. We're seeing kind of a packaging consistency here. It has a decanter with squeezy tops. Now, just to delineate the difference between this and perhaps others in similar packaging, I want to point out that this is highly concentrated. So it's intended to be either mixed with something like moisturizer, maybe a facial oil or a primer, or you can just wear it alone and just buff it into your skin. It's highly concentrated. Even though it feels really light on the skin, it imparts immense coverage. So I wouldn't recommend using a full dropper and putting it all over your face unless you were going for that look. I like to either put just a little bit and mix it with some facial oil, put it all over the face, and I get great medium to full coverage. And because of what I'm mixing it with, I get some nice luminosity as well. This has probably a satin matte finish, but like I said, because you are probably cutting it with something that's a little more luminous, you get that beautiful, dewy, luminous glow to the skin and excellent coverage. Then there's the Clé de Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation, which has an SPF at 24. Definitely a luxurious option, as are all products in the Clé de Peau line. Investment worthy, well executed, super opulent. And this foundation is one that I've experimented with for well over a year now. I have it in shade 30 and 20, though I wear 30 most of the time. It comes in an airtight bottle with a pump dispenser. And in terms of its radiance on the skin, I feel like it is a satin finish, not a satin matte, but a satin finish that just makes the skin look healthy and lovely, but I wouldn't deem it ultra dewy. I don't think that Clé de Peau would probably ever run the risk of creating a foundation with an excess of shimmer that's just way too overt for its very subtle classic beauty aesthetic. And I think this foundation completely resonates with the aim of the brand. Clean, beautiful, kind of a velvety liquid formula that makes the skin look very polished but still natural. And finally, we have the Natasha Denona Face Glow Foundation, which is an SPF 15. I have reviewed the Natasha Denona Glowing Skin System on my blog, which I will link to below, and the Natasha Denona line is now exclusively available in the US through Beauty. Since working with this foundation back in December, I find myself reaching for it all the time. It has a different texture than the other foundations I've discussed in this video. It is a little bit more buoyant, I guess, and a tiny bit tacky, but not sticky. And I think it works to just adhere to the skin effortlessly. It forms this beautiful kind of veil of coverage. I can build this all the way to full coverage without it looking obvious, and I think that's a testament to this unique formula. It's just lovely, and unlike, and I've tried a lot of foundations, unlike any other foundation I've tried, because it's dewy with this lovely skin finish that's not shimmery, and the formula just feels cushiony on the face, but it doesn't move. You get great lasting power with it. I wore it through an entire day of IMATS, probably 11 hours on a show floor, and didn't need to touch up once. So I'm very impressed not only with this formula, but with the Natasha Denona line in total, and I'm sure I'll be talking about more of her products soon. But Face Glow Foundation is a great place to start. 30 is great for NC 23 to 25 skin. All in all, a gorgeous release from Natasha Denona. I hope you found this overview of bases to be useful, and welcome your questions and of course your comments on all of these different formulas. I will also include a link to my full blog post, which will complement this video, that will have swatches in different lighting situations of all of the foundations that I've discussed side by side in order. I truly hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, invite you to come visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at beautyprofessor.net. Take care.